Hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning. Um, hey everybody. Just getting my stuff. Welcome. My name is Axel from Get Speaking English. Welcome to the stream. If this is your first time here, we are doing crosswords today. Doing this crossword. And I think I'm live. I think I'm live on Facebook, on Twitch, and YouTube. Hoping that I am live. Oh, I forgot to share this. Okay, just give me 1 second. Oh gosh, I had too many things going on this morning. I didn't get time to really quickly. When I'm going to do, hey everyone, come join me for today's cross. Okay, I'm just gonna. Yeah. Anyways, let me know if you're alive. Let me know if you're alive in the chat. Let me know how your morning is going, or your day. It's morning here. I know it's not morning in the countries of my students. Yeah, so feel free to say hello and, you know, grab a coffee or something to drink. I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to explain how this is going to work, and then we're gonna get going. So like I said, we're going to be doing this crossword today. What's going to happen is that I am going to lead the conversation. I'm basically going to go through. I'll let us know what questions we're going to work on when. I'm going to give you alternative clues, pictures, definitions, all sorts of different things to help you arrive at the answer. So when you think you know an answer, put it out in the chat, and as I see the answers, I will add them to the board and we will figure out the crossword that way. Hopefully we will complete it together. And we will discuss any interesting language or phrases or things that happen to come up along the way. And hopefully this will be a nice little review for you of some of the English that you already know, and hopefully you will also learn a couple new things as well. So there are a few rules about how this is going to work. So just for starters, you know, no cheating, right? So don't use the internet. I know that there are websites devoted to sharing the answers to these crosswords. We could also Google and things like that as well. But I don't want you to do that. I think that we are smart enough. We're going to use our brains to get through this. So please do not use the internet. And along those lines, please do not ruin it for others. So don't go ahead and start throwing out answers to questions we haven't talked about, things of that nature. Please don't do that. Also, if you happen to be here and you are a native English speaker, please note that I'm doing this activity specifically for people learning English as a second language. So we are going to take some time to review language that comes up, any vocabulary, things of that nature. So please be patient, you know, play along nicely, don't ruin it for everybody by just throwing out answers. Try to stick with the conversation and participate that way if you happen to be here. Also, please be nice to one another. So let's be nice to one another in the chat. Like I mentioned, you can participate by sharing your answers, your comments and things in the chat. So please be nice to one another. Please don't fight, anything like that. Please be nice to me as well. I know sometimes I make mistakes. I might put something wrong in the chat. That's fine. I am human. We are all human, so mistakes are going to happen. So let's just try to be nice and friendly and have a good time together. All right. And then there are a couple things that you should know specifically about this crossword that is going to help us. So the first useful thing to know is that useful information. Okay, the first thing that's useful to know is that a lot of these clues, a lot of these questions are about language. So we will not have to know much about trivia or anything like that. So that's really good. I am not a trivia person. We are going to focus on the questions that have to do with language and hopefully review a lot of great things that way. It's also worth knowing that this is an American crossword. So a lot of the trivia that does come up, things like that, it's going to be American. But it's also going to be we're also going to use American spelling. So there's some differences between American and British spelling, right? So for example, in American English, words like favor or color are spelt with an OR, whereas in British English, they're spelt with an OUR, for example. Also words like realize, modernize, socialize, commercialize, things like that. In American English, that suffix uses a Z, so I-Z-E, whereas in British English it would have an S. Another example of a difference would be words like center or leader. In American English, those words end in an ER, whereas in British English, they end in an RE. So there are lots of other differences as well. These are just some examples, but we will be using mainly American English unless there's some indication otherwise. It's also really helpful to know that the answer usually uses the same word form as the word in the question. So for example, if there is a plural noun in the question, the answer will also be a plural noun. If there is a verb conjugated in in a past form, the answer will also be a verb conjugated in a past form. So that is really helpful. That helps me all the time when I'm trying to figure these things out, so keep that in mind as well. And also some of the answers will be short phrases. So phrasal verbs, for example, or maybe they will be like a few words missing from a very common phrase that we might say. So those are, we can use those here. It does not tell us when a word is a multiple. It does not tell us when an answer is multiple words, so we will have to figure it out ourselves. Hopefully I will be able to identify them and let you know. But yeah, those are acceptable here, so keep that in mind as well. And also because we are here to review vocabulary and learn potentially new vocabulary, it's important to know that some of the words in this crossword are going to be useless to you. So there are lots of words, lots of vocabulary that I, as a native English speaker, only use when doing the crossword or other similar word games. So, so there will be things in here that you won't be able to use in real life. But hopefully I will point that out to you. I will let you know. And hopefully we will review lots of useful things along the way. So that's everything that you need to know about this crossword. So let's get right into it. Also because I don't have a lot of time today. I don't have tons of time, so hopefully we will get it done. Let's see what we could do. Yeah, let's get right into it. So this first one here. So like judges. So like judges, and then we have here shred. I think this one might be the easiest one to start with. So judges. Judges, who are those judges? Judges are kind of people who work in a trial, right? In a court of law. And here's a bunch of judges, or maybe here's a judge. Sort of a typical American judge. We're looking for an adjective. This answer is going to be an adjective. So number one, so like judges. So we want an adjective. Dun, 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 dun. So just so we're all on the same page, we can see some judges here. Typically the judges sit behind the bench during a trial. So, and the judge is basically the person who decides the outcome of a trial, right? So they decide who's at fault, for example, who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth, and then they will basically say what the punishment is or whatever as part of the trial. So there is something specific though about judges. They wear a very specific type of clothing, or at least they do over here. They wear a very specific type of clothing. You can see that they have this guy here, for example, has this black coat that's kind of over top of him. This is going to give us a clue about what this answer is. So I'm going to put a D at the end here because it's going to be an adjective, but something to do with this article of clothing. Does anybody know what this article of clothing is called? If you know what this article of clothing is called, put it in the chat. So this black article of clothing is called, if you think you know it, put it into the chat. Let me know. Let me know if you are think you know in here. So that article of clothing is a robe. So this article of clothing is called a robe. So I think our answer here is actually robed. We're gonna put robed. So they are covered in the robe. So we could say that they are robed. I think that that's what that's going to be. We'll go back to this. We can always change it, but I think that's what it is. So let's do that here. So Lucy's Love, we don't really do trivia here. Rival. Shred. Do this one. I think we can get this one. So a rival. A rival. A rival is kind of, it's somebody you're competing with. So in a competition, right? They'd be the person you're competing with, right? So basically your opponent, right? But we can see here that this word starts with an E, right? Da, 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 da. E something 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 something. So we're not talking we're not really talking about competition here. I think we were talking about like if you are fighting against someone. If you are fighting against someone, this would be your rival. So if you are fighting, for example, no, this isn't your friend, right? But it's like the opposite of your friend. If you think you know it, put it in the chat. You know what you think. Put it in if you think you happen to know. I think this word is going to be enemy. So your enemy is basically your rival. Somebody you would fight against. So there we go. Put that in here. Enemy. Alright, great. That'll be our rival. Alright. What else do we have here? We have sticks. We know that this is going to be an S because we have an S here. Here. This is a trivia thing. So musician Yoko. This is going to be owner. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do this one. We're gonna do this one. So shred. Shred. This is actually the past. This is a verb, to shred something. Basically means to tear something. So what do I mean? What do I mean? I'm gonna show you a tear. You would tear fabric, for example. or tear paper, maybe. For example, see if I can get kind of a good, this one. Kind of common for people to tear their clothes in the knees, for example. You know, torn jeans might be a very common sort of thing to have in fashion. Jeez. Wait, torn jeans. Having a hard time getting a good picture. Gosh, okay, these are torn like crazy. But you can see that they have all of these tears in here. So these we could also say that these jeans are shredded. So they've been shredded, they've been torn here. And we can see here that this one starts with an R, right? So we're basically looking for a synonym, sort of a synonym for tear or shred here. So if you have any idea what this might be, put it in the chat, let me know. I'll give you a couple of seconds. But yeah, we're looking for basically a verb related here. Or I suppose a noun too. Both of these words could be nouns. We can say a shred, or a tear, or a whatever this word happens to be. So I think this word is rip. So we're gonna put rip here. So shred is gonna be rip. We could say that these jeans are shredded. We could also say that these jeans are ripped as well, or these jeans are torn. That is torn is the past participle of tear. To tear, torn, or sorry, torn. Oh, yeah. So tear, torn. All right. Alrighty. What else here? So we have sticks. This could be a new word for us. Plain silly. So something silly. Maybe something goofy, a little bit light-hearted. Let's see if I can get a good definition. Sort of like unimportant, maybe. Or kind of fun, almost. I have a funny feeling that this word is going to be a new word for us. But there's kind of this word that we might use. If something just seems so crazy, like so silly, and so out there, has no importance, nothing at all. No meaning or importance. I think this is going to be a new word for a lot of us. But I might say that we could say that something that's so silly, so crazy, doesn't even matter. We might say that it's inane. I think this word is going to be inane. And I'm going to put this in a sentence. Or I'll give you an example at least. So here. So he's always making inane remarks. He's always making these comments, these remarks that are just so crazy, just completely ludicrous. They're just out there, bizarre, way too silly. You can't take him seriously. Or here's another example too of how we might use this word. So there are too many inane quiz shows on television these days. So there are just too many silly quiz shows. You can't take them seriously. They are so absurd and funny. You can't take them seriously. Oh, so many inane quiz shows on television these days. So, and let me know if this is true in your country. I would say that in my country there are a lot of inane reality TV shows on TV. So I think that that would be true for my country. So let me know how it is in your country, what they have on TV. Okay. Let's see what else we can get here. So, all right, let's do this one. So the sneaker part. So a sneaker. Does anybody know what a sneaker is? It is a type of it's an article of clothing that you would wear on your feet. I'm going to get a picture. It's a type of shoe. Here are a pair of sneakers. A pair of sneakers. Okay. And we want like one part of the shoe. We're looking for the name of a part of this shoe. And I know we talked about shoes a little bit the other day, right? We talked about how there's the toe. We have the toe of the shoe, right? We have the heel of the shoe. That was in a crossword the other day. The heel. We have the sole of the shoe, the bottom part here, right? We have the tongue. You can't really see the tongue really well. But kind of like that little part that goes underneath the laces, right? And then you have the laces. Let's see if I can get a better picture. Here we go. We can see the laces very well on these sneakers. So the the tongue is this sort of this fabric part that goes underneath the laces, and then we have these laces. So we have 4 letters here, right? We have 4 letters here. So it could be sole. Sole would fit here. The sole of the shoe. Did I spell it right? I didn't spell it. Of the shoe. But I think it's going to be something else, actually. It's going to be something a little bit different. Also, the heel, right? Also a 4-letter word could fit in here. I think, though, that this is going to start with an L. Because it's a part that makes sneakers different from all the other different types of many different types of shoes, right? They have these things, the laces, right? So laces is plural, right? But I think that this answer is going to be lace. So I'm going to put lace in here. And you're going to see like why for like in a second here. But we have lace here. So one lace, laces for plural, right? Let's put that in here. And let's do this one now. Right. So this one, so before today, we want an adverb. Here, we can see that it starts with an A. This is a really really common word that we use all the time when we are talking about the past. Hi, Sabine. Welcome. Hey. All right, yeah, so we're looking for a super common word. We use this word often when we are talking in, so we use this word often in the simple past or the past simple, right? So there's one word specifically that we might use. For example, you know, I talked to John 3 days, this word. And I see it on Facebook, so I see it on Facebook. See if we can get it anywhere else. Perfect. Yeah, this adverb, we really only use it in the simple past, right? Because it talks about a very specific point in time in the past. Time before today. Yeah, ago is going to be the answer for that. So great job. Ago. So I gotta put that in here. Awesome. Alrighty. Got that. And let's see what else we can do here. Some of these are tricky. Oh, maybe all of these are tricky. Let's try this one. We might be able to get this one. So we have a lord's wife. A lord, it's kind of like a, it's a name for someone kind of, it's kind of like a king or something. Like, it sort of has a similar meaning. Somebody who has sort of a high rank, kind of. You know, like a king or a queen. A lord would be for a man. And we want his wife. So we're basically looking for the name of a woman who is married to like this person. We can see that it starts with an L something something Y. We would also use this word. Yeah, so I see it on Facebook. Yeah, so we would also just use this word potentially just to talk about a woman. It's a very proper, like a very formal way of talking. But of course, if we're talking to lords or people who are sort of in a very high positions, we would want to speak formally, right? So lady, exactly. So this is going to be a lady, lord and lady. Let's put that in here. Perfect. Great job. Awesome job. So let's see what else we can do here. Do you guys like Chinese food? Chinese food. Let me know if Chinese food is popular in your country. So here we have Chinese food. We have Chinese food. I'm in Canada. If you don't know, I'm in Canada. We have Chinese food restaurants. It's typically like a Canadianized version of Chinese food. similar to what they also have in the United States, they also kind of have a very Americanized version of Chinese food. So it's kind of like food in China, but it's been kind of adapted to suit our palates and things like that. And there is one item in particular that we have on the menu here. And I'll be curious to know if they're on the menus where you are. I'm gonna share a picture. Let me know what you think. I think the answer, let me see here. We have, I'll use this one. There is this one little food in particular. They're kind of deep fried. There are these little rolls. They have a filling. So the food has a filling. So usually meat. At least here they're usually meat. And they are deep fried. They're very crunchy. Kind of look like this. Do you know what this is? What we call these? Let me know if you know what these are. They start with an E, if we can see. They're probably one of the most popular common items that they have on the menu at Chinese food restaurants here. Let me know if you know what this is called. They're very similar to another thing as well, too, that you would get from maybe like a Thai food place. So these are egg rolls. So this is an egg roll. So we have an egg roll. So I think this is gonna go in here. So we have an egg roll. So let me know if there are egg rolls on the menu at Chinese food restaurants where you are. So they're very, very, very common here. Like I said, they sort of have a meat. They have a filling. This inside part we would call a filling. It's wrapped in, I don't know exactly what the wrapping is, but then they're usually deep fried. And they serve them with a little dipping sauce, so that's really common. Really similar to another item that you might see on some menus, which is called a spring roll. Which are filled, they have a filling that's maybe some noodle and some vegetables, and they are wrapped in rice paper. Yeah, so two very kind of common items that we might have if you're going out for some Chinese food. But yeah, all right. So yeah, so not familiar with it. Yeah. Do you think that you would like this? Would you try it? Or maybe it wouldn't be something that you'd like to try. I personally am not a fan of egg rolls. Also because I don't eat meat, so they're usually filled with meat. But I really enjoy spring rolls. So I like spring rolls a lot. Spring rolls are usually filled with vegetables and maybe shrimp or something. But egg rolls, at least here, egg rolls tend to be filled with meat. So meat and maybe like cabbage or something like that. Okay, let's see what else we can do. We have a co-op's cousin. We might know this one, but let's see what else is here. Go off. I think we could maybe get this one. Why is it called an egg roll? Is there egg there? That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure why it's called an egg roll. I have no idea. There might be some egg in the filling. Or maybe, I wonder if they dip it in egg. Yeah, I have no idea. Possibly if there's egg in, like, in the filling. But, yeah, I don't know. Alright, a word that means throw off. Something. So we're looking for a verb here. That means to throw off. A verb that means to give off. And I'll give you a kind of a hint. I'll give you a hint. Usually we use this verb often when we are talking about greenhouse gases and putting toxins into the air. So when we're talking about pollution and things like that. Yeah, so I see it on Facebook, exactly. See if we can get it anywhere else. We have the word emissions that kind of comes from this word, right? From this verb. But yeah, this is gonna be emit. So to throw off or to give off. So let's put it in here. So emit. All right, great job. And let's see. Let's do the goo. Paving goo. So goo is something sticky, kind of viscous. For example, we talked about motor oil and grease the other day. That's kind of like a goo, kind of like a sticky, wet substance. And paving, you pave the road. Not having it. Trying to get a picture of something gooey. Like glue is kind of goo, maybe. Jeez. I'm not having a good... My Googling is not giving me good results right now. But to pave is a road term. So paving, to pave the road, means basically when you do that process of, you know, they put down the rock, right? So you have all the rocks, right? You have all the rocks, and then there's this substance that they put over the rocks, basically, to make everything kind of stick together. There is this black substance. So there is a black substance that they use to basically seal the road and make all the, you know, rocks stick together when they are paving. And we can see that it starts with 3 letters. This might be a new word for us. A new word. Trying to get a better picture. Let's see if I can get a picture of it, maybe putting it on. Here we can see these guys are They're working on the road. Yeah, so we have all the rock, basically, the gravel, and then there's this black stuff that we use to stick it all together. It's an oil-based product. It's an oil-based product. So it comes from oil. So it's very black. And the stuff is known as tar. So tar is the name of the black stuff that they put on the road, or sometimes they will put it on roofs. At least here they put it on roofs when they apply the shingles. But this black stuff, it's very black, it's very sticky. You have to heat it up, so make it really hot, and then it cools and it solidifies. So this goo, this wet, viscous, kind of dirty, smelly stuff called tar. We use tar to pave the roads. Okay, let's see, what else is here? So this is gonna be a new word. Bad joke. Let's do this one. Diner desserts. Diner desserts. So we can see that there's a plural here. So there's probably going to be a plural here. I'm going to put an S in here. A diner is a place where you can eat. And it's kind of a very casual place. Casual eatery, we might say. A diner can also be a person who dines, a person who eats, but here we're talking about some sort of dessert you might get at a diner. Here is a diner. It's very kind of a traditional, sort of American style diner. You can see that there are these tables. There are booths. So this thing is called a booth. A bunch of booths. We also have a counter here with some stools along the counter. And I see the answer here. I see the answer in Facebook. Let's see if we can get anywhere else. Yeah, there's a dessert, a sweet kind of treat you might have at the end of your meal. Yeah, I think it's very common to get pie at a diner. So very common to get pie at the end of your meal at the diner. So I think this is gonna be pie. I agree with you. Do you have a favorite type of pie? Do you have a favorite kind of pie? This one that I put on the screen is called a pecan pie. And I think this is a nut that is only found in North America. So I've talked about pecan pie with some people before, and they've never had it before. So it's a nut that they will have here. This is pretty good type of pie. So let me know what your favorite pie is, and let me know if you have pecans where you are. I'm interested to know if you have pecans. Yeah, so that's gonna be pie. Let's see here. Boro cigar, chops into cubes. I think we can get this one. The cooking verb. So we want a verb here, chops into cubes. So to chop, right? To cut up, basically. So we're looking for a verb. Dun, 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 dun. ES. A verb. A pie is just cake without cream, right? And what is a pecan? Okay, yeah. So I don't think a pie is cake without cream, because you could have cream in a pie. The thing that makes a pie is that A pie has a bottom layer that is called a crust. So I'm going to get a picture of a pie crust. So here's a pie crust. So it's basically this dough that you put together with flour and some fat and stuff. You roll it out, make it very, very, very flat. You put it in a round dish. So pies are always in this round dish here. And then what you do is you would add the filling. So the filling is whatever goes in the middle of it. And they're typically large. So pies are large. Because there's also tarts. Tarts are also similar, or torts. But yeah, usually, but pie always has some sort of crust like this. And then there's a filling. And then sometimes, not always, but sometimes there is a layer of this dough on top as well, this crust. So that is what a pie is. And a pecan is a nut that grows in, I think it's in the like southern United States. They look like this. So here's a pecan. Here's a pecan. And yeah, they're really nice. So they make a pecan pie with it. You saw the picture up above. So it's basically, it's a very sweet pie. So the filling is mostly sugar, I think a little bit of cream, basically a custard, and then there's lots of these nuts in it. It is a very traditional sort of American thing to eat, and we have them up here too. But yeah, so they're very good. I really like pecans. They're probably one of my favorite nuts, I think. Okay, yeah. So let's think about cutting up food. Cutting up food. So cutting up food into cubes. So there's a word we might use. For chopping up food into these little cubes. Example. Here we can see this person basically did this action to, this looks like it's a bell pepper or a red pepper. Yeah, so see it in Facebook. See the answer in Facebook. This little action of cutting everything and then putting it into little squares, and you know, there can be big squares or there can be small squares, right? Here are some larger food that's been cut that way. Yeah, so this word is dice. So chops into cubes, I think is going to be dices. So let's put dices here. Perfect. Great job. Yeah, all right. And let's see here, yeah. We have here. Have Rang, a young man, Moro singer. Do you like to cook? Do you like to dice vegetables? I was talking to somebody the other day and they were talking about cooking and they were like, oh, but I hate doing the preparation because they didn't like to do all the chopping and things like that. So let me know how you feel about chopping and preparing food and vegetables for cooking. If you like it, or if you hate it, or don't like doing it. I know some people might even buy pre-cut vegetables and things like that. So I don't mind it. I like cooking. I don't mind it. But I know some people hate chopping their vegetables. They hate dicing things because it can be kind of annoying. I wonder if we can do this one. So sprang. This might be a new word, or this is going to be a review of some irregular verbs. So, which is really good. So sprang is the past form of spring. So spring, sprang, sprung. So we know that this is going to be the past form of a verb. And usually, so to spring kind of means to jump. I do not know cooking, but I love cooking shows, though. Yes! And they're always chopping and dicing and things like that on cooking shows, right? Yeah. So, yeah, cooking shows are very popular these days. They're good things to watch. Yeah. You don't ever get inspired and then want to go cook. I feel like that's how I learned how to cook when I was younger. Because my parents don't really cook, but then I moved out and then I watched a lot of cooking shows when I like first kind of moved out, and that kind of inspired me to learn how to cook better. So now I am a chopping pro, and now I can do all the dicing. Yeah. But it still can be a lot of work, right? Yeah, so to spring can mean to jump. We're basically looking for a word that also means to jump here, but of course we're doing it, we want a past verb for it. A word that means to jump. So we have what? This, he, something. This word kind of means a really big jump, I would say. Like, not a little jump, because you could hop, right? Hop is kind of a little jump. Or to hop, a very little jump. But I think this is like a very big jump. Like this person. This person is kind of doing this style of jumping. You can see where they ran because they had to get a good run on, and then they kind of launched off. Yeah, so we see, okay, yeah, so you had the verb. So we have the verb. So we have the verb in Facebook, so to leap. And now do we know what the past form is? Do you know what the past form is of this? In the past participle? Because the answer is going to be the past form of this verb. What are those irregular? What are those irregular verbs? Let's see if you know it. You remember it. Is that a super common verb? So this might be new. Yeah, I don't remember. No worries. Yeah. This is not a super common word. So the past is, so there's leap, then leapt, and leapt. So leap, leapt, leapt is gonna be the forms. So this is gonna be leapt. E-A-P-T. Perfect. All right, cool. We're doing good. Let's maybe do this one now. Let's see if we can get this. See if we can get this one. So to try something out, so we can see here, so we have a T something, S something. So basically a synonym that means to try. Yeah, to try. To try something out typically means that you use something or do something to see if you maybe like it, or if it works, or, you know, see how it is, something like that, right? So you try something out, you basically use it just temporarily, maybe 1 time, 2 times, just to see if you like it. We're kind of looking for a verb that we might use for that as well. Sort of has a similar concept. You know, if you are trying to find a solution to a problem, you might try various things, right? See if it works or not. Yes. I think this one, I think this one is going to be test. You would test something. I know usually we use test to refer to, you know, like an exam or something like that, but we can also use it as a verb. So you can test something, or to test something out. That would be a phrasal verb that we would use. Let's see if I can get a little example sentence here. So the manufacturers are currently testing the new engine. So they are currently trying out the new engine to see if it works or not, if they like it, if they need to change anything. So test is going to be that answer there. All right. An idea. This isn't English. This is like an English word that we use a lot. It only in language learning, only in teaching English. The word that means a main idea. So we might know this one because we are learning English. So this word means the main idea. And we kind of test this a lot when we are learning a language, especially listening. Yeah, so I see it on Facebook. Yeah. So, you know, it's really common, especially when we're doing listening activities or even reading activities, but you will maybe read something, or you will listen to something. You usually don't understand absolutely everything, but you get the main idea, right? Yeah, so you get the gist of something. So, yeah, so I think this one's gonna be gist. Great job. Yeah. So get the gist of something, the main idea. Perfect. I think I'm just gonna put this in here. So this young man, unless you know it, do you know this word for a young man? Tell something. I think you know it. Put it out there. I'm gonna put the rest of this, because this is just like trivia. Toro singer. Put it here. He guesses what this might be. This young man. Almost kind of like a word for kid or something. Yeah, this is gonna be lad. Let's put lad here. Perfect. All right. Alrighty. I wonder if we will know this word. This could be a new word for us. There's an S here. We can see. Oh, for puzzles. So this word, something. We would use this word if something seems kind of almost impossible to understand. So to puzzle, like if you were like to puzzle, it confuses you, right? So to puzzle basically means to confuse, right? So if something is puzzling, it's really confusing, right? Right? And so and a puzzle is something to solve, right? Basically, something that you have to figure out, right? But here, this word, this kind of describes something more like, it's almost like it's impossible to figure out, or maybe it's really mysterious. So this is a mysterious puzzle, basically, that may be impossible to understand. And this could be a new word. This is a very advanced word. But we might know it. It's kind of similar to maybe like a mystery or something. So I see it on Facebook. Yeah, kind of like a mystery, maybe. Yeah, so enigma. Yeah. So enigma. Let's put enigma. Awesome. Yeah, so if something's an enigma, really hard to figure out, really challenging to understand. Yeah. Sometimes if somebody is very mysterious and difficult to understand, like you don't understand their behavior, you might say that they are an enigma. You know, I don't understand why you do the things you do. You are an enigma. So that's probably how I would use that. Okay, so high point, we're not gonna know this. I'm just gonna put it in here. This is like a crossword. Crossword word. But this is a good one. Mind fuel. So we can see a C, something, something L. So something mind comes from under the ground, right? We know like a mine is one of those really enigmatic. Yeah, we can say that somebody is enigmatic. Exactly. I give you a, yeah. So that's obviously the adjective, right? But here's sort of an example. So he left an enigmatic message on my answering machine. So a very mysterious, hard to understand, hard to decode message, maybe. Kind of cryptic, hard to understand. Here, yeah. So something enigmatic. Something sort of hard to understand and decode, basically. Yeah, so that's a cool one. Yeah, so this one is coal. Yeah, exactly. So coal is gonna be that fuel. Fuel, obviously, something that we burn that comes from underground. Yeah, so that's gonna be mine. Oh, sorry, that's gonna be coal. Perfect. Alright. What else do we have here? This is also a trivia thing, so we're gonna ignore. I wonder, we might be able to get this one. So, he hacked it to a dad joke. We can see that there is a past participle here, so this is gonna be a past form or something here. So a dad joke. dad jokes are kind of like, how do I explain a dad joke? Maybe like they're kind of like puns or something. They're kind of like bad jokes, but not like you know, you're joking about something bad, but like they're kind of lame jokes. So dad jokes are bad or kind of lame, for example. Maybe they are puns. A pun is a play on words. And they're not really the kind of jokes that you might laugh at, but you might have a reaction where you kind of are like, ugh, sort of, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, they're kind of clumsy jokes. Yeah, like the kind of jokes where you might roll your eyes and maybe your reaction might be like, oh, come on. We're looking for the name of that word, kind of, for that that sound that I made, this like, ugh. Any ideas what we would call that? That sound? This kind of like, this sort of like this deep, long, so kind of like a complaining noise almost. Like, why? Like, okay, you know? Kind of. I mean, it could be a sound of pain as well, but also just if you think of something's kind of silly or stupid. Yeah. So that sound, that like, ugh, I would call a groan. So I think this answer is gonna be groan. Groan. You would groan at a pun, maybe, or groan at a bad joke. Like, you would roll your eyes and be like, oh, that's so silly. Usually we would groan. You can groan in pain as well. It's more common to groan in pain. Here, for example, here's a sentence. He collapsed, groaning in pain, so he was making that, like, that noise. That just indicated that he was in, like, pain and discomfort. But you could also kind of complain a lot, like groan a lot about something, like to complain about things. So here, for example, she's always moaning and groaning, so complaining a lot about the weather, or quit groaning about your homework, just go do it, or stop, you know, groaning about this. So stop complaining about this, basically, we would say. Okay. Let's see what else we can go here. This is another trivia. I'm just gonna put them. Finished. We're looking for a synonym for finish. We have the D-O, something. Like finished. And we could tell that whatever this word is, it's going to be the past form of a verb. For a past form of a verb, something is finished, something completed, right? I see it on Facebook. See if we can get it anywhere else. Everybody's quiet everywhere else. Yeah, so done. Gotta be finished. So let's put that in here. Gotta be done. Perfect. Done like dinner. Let's see if we can get this one. This is Holland's base. It's a type of alcohol. This was a type of alcohol. The home of Socrates. Socrates was a philosopher. And he was from ancient something, some European country. New word, something. I think that's enough. Yeah, so Socrates was a philosopher from a very old, currently it's a country in Europe. Yeah, so from a old, currently European country. So you're close. So I see Greek. I see Greek in Facebook. That's the people for the name of the language. So Greek is the nationality or the language that they speak there, and then the country, a slightly different word. But you are thinking of both the right place. Yes, Greece, exactly. So here we go, Greece. Greece. Perfect. There's home from ancient Greece. And we're gonna hop over, we're gonna do this one. Because these two are kind of related to one another. There's kind of a pattern here. So a pot scrubbing challenge. So we're talking about cooking here. We're talking about cleaning. Thing baked on, or it baked something. G something. Yeah, we might be able to get this. Baked. So 3 words here. We have 3 words here. So to scrub is that action you would use when you basically create friction. You like use something and maybe on your dishes because something is stuck fast, right? And you would like rub it really hard. So that's what it means to scrub something, basically. To rub something with a lot of friction. You know, you would like scrub pots and pans, basically. So that's kind of what that means. And anyways, Greece. I'm gonna try to get a picture of this. Okay, here. So over time, like you use fat and things like that for... Here, this person is kind of scrubbing. Here we go. Person is scrubbing. This person is scrubbing like the stuff that gets stuck fast to your pans. And there's kind of there's a word. It's like basically a homophobe. Homophone for Greece, basically. This word for basically the fat and stuff like that gets stuck to pots and pans when you are cooking. So the second word is like basically a word for the, you know, the fat and this like stuff, basically fat and oil that gets stuck onto pots and pans after you've cooked. Any ideas how you spell that? How we would spell it? Kind of like that icky sort of oil-like substance, kind of. So that's stuff. Yeah, so baked is the first part. Yeah, baked. And then grease here. Yeah. R-E-A-S-E. Yeah. So we have baked. Baked something grease. Yeah, so grease is the name for that kind of sticky substance. So we got that. Yeah, so I think this is going to be baked on. Something gets baked on something. Let's put that here. So baked on grease. Baked on grease. Of was a good good guess. This one's gonna be on though. Because something gets baked on something or baked onto something, so it sticks fast onto something. Yeah, so that's gonna be that one. We do here. Yeah, no worries. So that was a good guess. Yeah, so we got it. Let's see here. Okay, let's talk about carnivals. Carnivals. So carnivals, those are those like kind of like an amusement park, right? Sort of similar. Kind of like an amusement park. That kind of usually travels around, right? So they come into town for a little bit and they go. An attraction, obviously, something that brings people to see something, right? Something that, you know, attracts people, so they come. That's not what attracts. There we go. So they come. This word, so we can see here, are something is there are these things. Let's see if I can get some pictures. There are these different things, like there's animals and shows and things like that come through with a carnival, right? All sorts of different acts and stuff like that. But then there are also things like this, you know, that people can go on. They'll buy tickets and they will go on. They'll go on them. Have some fun. Any ideas what we would call these things? What we would call this? Starts with an R. We can see that there's an R here. It's kind of a one word that we would refer to all of these. So it's not a roll. Roll is a really good. I can see where you get that from. So roll, not a roll. It's a good guess though. It ends in an E. I will give you that. Ends in an E. You can get it. All sorts of different ones. Let's see. One. I'm adding these pictures. These are rides. We would call these rides. An amusement park ride. Oops. Rides. So, for example, do you like to go on the rides? Or would you like to go on this ride? So we would just call them rides. So let me know. Let me know, do you like going on rides? Because some people don't. Some people hate them. So let me know if you are a ride person or if you are not a ride person. I personally like to go on rides. I have no problem doing all the crazy things. So if I am stuck going with a group of people especially with kids that want to go on the crazy things, I'm the one that always gets stuck doing it. Because I will do it. I don't care. But I know it's not for everybody. So, yeah, so those are rides. Okay, what else do we have here? We have more sticky stuff, and we have a relay section. Sticky stuff. The sticky stuff. This is a name. So something sticky. It's an adhesive, right? So something sticky. It's kind of it's stuck in it. It's adhesive. So we're looking for the name of something you would use, basically, to stick something fast, something else. So it's starts off wet, kind of causes something to join to something else, and then it dries, basically. So an adhesive. Yeah, kind of like a sticky substance that's used for joining things together. So we're looking for something that you would use. I'm gonna share a picture of it. Let's see if we can get it. I think maybe this kind of stuff. You would use this in school, but this stuff here. Any ideas? What we would call this stuff that we use for sticking things together. So I see it on Facebook. Yeah, it's gonna be glue. Exactly. So glue. Glue. And so just an FYI, so here this relay section, relay. A relay is a type of a race, usually. A type of a race. It's usually a type of a race that's divided into parts, divided into sections, and each one of those sections or each one of those parts is known as a leg. So they are divided into sections or parts known as legs. So that's the answer. That one there. Is it not streaming on YouTube? I thought I was streaming. Oh, I'm not. Okay. Oh no. I thought I was, but I guess I'm not. Great. I'm not streaming on YouTube. So my friend was like, you should program all of your streams in advance. And I was like, okay, that's a really good idea. And so I went and I did it yesterday. And I set everything up, and I thought that it was set up to go, and I have my computer going there, but I guess I need to actually click the go live button now, because before it used to do everything automatically. So thanks for pointing that out. I didn't even notice. So I really appreciate it. So I guess I'll have to download this video maybe and put it up. Ugh. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how this all works. It's all kind of still new to me. Especially pre-programming stuff. So, bummer. Okay. Anyways. Alright. Let's see where else I can go. What else we can do? I have to go soon. So I only have about 15 more minutes. But let's see if we can finish this in 15 minutes. We're looking for a farm animal that begins with an L. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I had no idea. Farm animal that starts with an L. So we know it's not going to be like a cow or a pig. See if you know it. I'm going to put a picture up of it. I think it is. This is the name of the baby, basically. The baby of an animal. So when this animal is an adult, it has a different name, but when it is young, it has this name. So one of these guys here, yeah, this is a lamb, which grows up to be a sheep. It's a sheep when it's an adult. And remember too that sheep, it's the same word for both singular and plural. So sheep for singular, sheep for plural. We would say usually a flock of sheep is the name. Yeah, so lamb. Alright, so we got lamb. Let's do this one. Sandwich start. So we are having sandwiches. There is one thing in particular that every sandwich needs, I think, pretty much, usually. So we can see something, 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 something. So a sandwich start. Basically every sandwich needs this. Because you wouldn't start with, you know, the tomatoes, right? For example, or not every sandwich has tomatoes, right? You do all sorts of different stuff. Yeah, so bread, exactly. So this is gonna be bread. B-R-E-A-D. I think that's what that's gonna be. Some bread. Caught you. Down. Let's do this one. So we're looking for an adjective. This one. Something D. This is an adjective. If you're down, so if you feel down, so if you feel down, you kind of feel the opposite of happy, right? So typically you feel down, maybe you feel a little bit depressed, right? Not very happy. You might feel low. Depressed or low. Yeah, I think this is gonna be sad. So let's put sad in here. S-A. So we got some sadness. Feels liberate. Big do. Let's see if we can do this one. Do you like coffee? So a coffee house. It's basically another word for a cafe, basically. So a place where you would get coffee. We might know this word. So obviously you can get just coffee, right? But people usually get all sorts of different types of coffee, right? There's cappuccino, for example. Maybe they'll get like espresso or cappuccino. That's what. Cappuccino. There it is. Cappuccino. Cappuccino. So espressos, cappuccinos, maybe a latte. We can see this one starts with an M. So, this one I think has chocolate in it. It's a coffee with chocolate in it. That's what it is, but I'm not sure how it is said. Yeah, one with chocolate. I'm pretty sure there's chocolate in it. Let's see here. Yeah, kind of one of these. Kind of one of these guys. It's a very fancy looking drink. This is a mocha. A mocha is the one with coffee in it. So mocha. And let me know if you like this. Do you drink these? Do you tend to drink mochas? I usually don't. I drink a lot of espresso. And I like lattes, actually. Latte is another very common coffee with espresso with a lot of milk. So if I'm out, I might drink a latte, but I usually don't get mochas. Let me know if you like it or not. Let's see what else is here. Maybe let's do this one, this free. Oh no, I just said the answer. Oh no. Okay, anyways, liberate is free. Oh no. Okay. Bad. Okay. I think we can do this one. This fields. Okay, fields. I know field is usually might be like a area with a lot of grass and stuff like that. But a field could also be like a specific sort of like realm or area, an area, or sort of like a, yeah, sort of a sector of work or something like that, or of expertise. Not have a fancy life. I like, yeah, my life is not that fancy. So I don't drink a lot of mochas or lattes or anything like that. I drink espresso because I have one of those espresso, those mocha pots or whatever. So I'll make espresso at home, but I don't really drink it when I'm out. Iced coffee is good. Yes, iced coffee is really good. Yeah, so we're looking for a word that we might use to refer to sort of like an area, or that something like where somebody might work, or something like their realm of expertise, an area of work, or expertise, or like sector. You know, you might have knowledge in a very specific field. We're basically looking for a synonym here that we could use that has this word. Kind of like, almost like a topic. Yeah, area. So you would have knowledge in a specific area. Exactly. All right, perfect. Okay. Oh, I have to go soon. Let's see what else we can do here. This is something blow away. Grace Finish. Grace is kind of a prayer. Grace. It's a prayer. That Christians say before eating dinner. So we're looking for a word that you might say at the end of a Christian prayer. So this is a word that comes at the end of a Christian prayer. Oh, you might know this one. I think it depends. Amen, exactly. So this is amen. Or amen. I say amen. Amen. Perfect. Got that. You will know. Oh, let's do this one really quickly. So this corn unit. Corn, it's a food, right? And when it's a unit, when it's all together, it comes in like this little, sort of like this package of leaves. I gotta get a picture. The name for corn, when it's all together in its this outer part here, this leafy part, is called the husk. So the leafy green part is called a husk. And we can, this whole thing is an something of corn. Little clue here, we can see that it starts with a vowel. Since I've put an "an" here, see if we know this one. We might know it, we might not know it. But has something of corn. Oh, so cob is good. Yeah, okay, yeah. So the cob actually is the middle part. The hard middle part. But you're right, we also say a cob of corn. So if it's not, so this we would call, so we take it out, this is called a cob of corn. And the cob specifically is that's hard central middle bit. And I'm having a hard time getting a picture of it. But yeah, the inside is the cob. So the hard middle inner part is the cob. And this whole thing, when it's still in the leaves and everything like that, this is called an ear of corn. So this is an ear of corn. This is gonna be ear. Ear. Alright. Alright. Great word though. Yeah, cob is a really good word though. Clubs on a diamond. Clubs on diamonds. This is an S. This is a baseball. Diamonds. This is a reference to baseball. So baseball diamond. Get a picture. Baseball, it's a game, right? So here's the baseball diamond. Got the baseball diamond, and a club is something you hit something with. So that big, usually it's made of wood or something. I think this word is that word. So we're looking for the name of the club, the big stick. Name of the club or big stick you use to play baseball with. All right, yeah, so we got bat, exactly, perfect. So we got bats, A-T. And let's see if we can do this one. Light rain. So very light rain. This could be a new word. So super light rain. But we can see something. This word we would use for when the rain is really, really light. It's almost like a mist. The rain is... So we use this word when the rain is so light, it's almost like mist. I don't know if that makes sense. This could be a new word for us. This is a great word, though. So you're so close. Yeah, so drizzling, really close, or drizzing. Super, super, super close. Yeah. So drizzle. Exactly. So we got drizzle. Perfect. Nice. Okay. Oh, we're almost done. Are we gonna make it? Am I gonna make it to my next thing in time? Final word here. So we have C something, N D something. So a co-op is kind of a type of housing situation. Similar to an apartment. Okay, so it's similar to an apartment building where you have lots of individual little units all inside one big building. Okay, so similar to an apartment where many people have their own, units or homes inside a larger building. Okay, and a co-op, they kind of share resources and they share things, but there's another word, a similar type of housing to an apartment. And I think that is what this word is. So, similar to an apartment. And this word is short for a much larger, a much longer word. So if that helps. Basically for a really big building with many different apartments in it. So this one, I think, is going to be a condo. So C-O-N-D-O, which is short for condominium. But very similar type of building to an apartment, but you would typically pay condo fees. Anyways, yeah, so condo. Did we do it? We did it. We won! So, great job! Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so we did really great. Okay. Anyways, I have to run really quickly. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate your help. I hope that this was useful. Thanks for letting me know, too, that this was not on YouTube. So I guess I will download this and I will upload it to YouTube. So I appreciate you letting me know. I will be back tomorrow for another crossword, and I should have a little bit more time. I'll probably start at the right time as well, too. So hopefully I will see you tomorrow. If you like this, feel free to, like and subscribe or share it. If you're on Facebook, share it to your favorite English learning group, because it would be really great to have more people come. I've also been trying to share it around, get more people to come out. So I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a really good day. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye.